free to do it. Should you do it? So, yeah. This is the march order?
Yeah.
This look good to you, Kirsty?
Yeah, looks fine.
Nice and safe in the middle.
Yep, I got my meat shields. Unless, of course, they're coming from a diagonal, in which case I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
if they're over
they
here.
snipe you from the bottom right.
Yeah.
Or they're like a distance away and they just snipe you.
Diving for the closest person to me, so Rose and Rays, beware.
Why are you
measuring a cone? Why are you measuring a cone?
A 30-foot cone, yeah.
Okay, yes.
Perfect.
Tactically efficient.
Now, if they want to hit me with a line attack, they have to hit. Oh no!
They screwed it.
I figured Abigail would be closer to you.
That's fair.
And Varric follows Abigail. So, change the music and pray my stomach doesn't act up in the next minute because it's certainly simmering. And yes, I really do mean simmering.
Actually, Darth Vader.
You have failed it for the last time. So,
I've altered the digestion.
So, you guys are traveling betwixt hills, rolling hills of verdant grass, the twilight skies above you, and there is a good amount of, I say clear space, not in the sense of, because obviously there are hills in the way, you can't just see all the way out, but there's very little upstanding vegetation or structures or anything like that that are blocking visibility to your, I guess you would call it your first threshold, I guess, which is a tree line. One that is absolutely massive. Trees of eternity that span to the skies. Like skyscrapers. Maybe even bigger. Laughs an Empire State Building. Laughs an Empire State Tree.
Compared to like a
as you guys are walking and traveling and taking in your guys' first time in the Feywilds proper, the heart of it at that, and you guys aren't being assailed by, you know, tribals and an Oni overseer and Oni Baba looking down upon you in more than one sense. It's much more peaceful. It's much more idyllic. Whether or not you would quantify it as a paradise of sorts, I guess, is up to you. It definitely does convey a sense of I say natural in the sense of there's nature everywhere. Natural calm and tranquility. As you guys are traveling, you guys do see the figure. The one that you guys saw way out over there from the front porch of the Tavish household began striding down the hill it was standing upon and awaiting your retinue on the path. I was gonna say road. It's not really a road. It's more like a well-trodden dirt path. The figure, as you guys get closer, isn't inhumanly weird looking as you might expect of some fairies and stuff like that. It's probably no more tall than, I don't know your guys' heights. I know two of you are really fucking tall, so they're around 6 feet. 6 feet, maybe a couple of inches past that. And as you guys get closer, you do note that it is looking intently upon you, not in a judgmental way, not as far as you guys can tell from its rather neutral body language, rather blasé, bored, apathetic body language. It is just looking at you, regarding you, trying to take in as much as it can take in as you guys approach. Abigail, as your guys' liaison to these necks of the woods, semi-literally, doesn't know who this person is. Like, she even tilts her head and begins whispering to Catalina as about who is that, and to which Catalina simply replies, "You'll see soon enough." And soon enough happens. Again, they wait you guys at last 6-5. Okay.
Glass in giant blood.
Yep. Just rub it in.
Actually, no, I'm gonna start standing up. I feel like I'm gonna need it. I'm jamming 2 games today. So, shit! Ow! Fuck!
Did
I hit my knee.
legs cramp?
Oh no!
No, I hit my knee. My knee on the music stand.
Well, man's dead. We need a DM.
Oh.
So you enter hell.
I used to be a dungeon master
Casualty
like
for
you.
Look at me. I am the dungeon master now. That's fucking. I have a GM part of my Wednesday game, and dead ass anytime I like take a tumble or they hear me like fuck like drop or something, like he'll be like, "All right, guys, so first off, level up to level 17," and I'm like, "You bitch." Also, why level 17? Why not just jump to 20 at that point?
Gotta earn those last 3.
I guess so. All right, I'm standing now. Much better. I can articulate and do voices better.
Hey.
At least for me. So, as you guys get closer, is there any... I'll give you guys an opportunity, if you are so inclined. Anything you guys are looking for? Not necessarily in this person, but in your media environment, in this majestic realm of dynamic emotion, so to speak.
Anything that can kill me.
I mean,
that's a practical attitude right there.
That is your choice between perception or insight. If they're the same mods, even if they are the same mods, I will say they do reveal different things depending on which one you pick.
I think Rose would just be trying to find... She imagines, like, everything around her is relatively safe right now, or else you probably wouldn't be passing through it. So she's gonna look to see if there's any identifying marks on this fella.
Roll a perception, then.
Sure.
Yeah, I think straight up Fia's just going to be fangirling over the fact that she's in the Feywilds.
Having a good time.
Yeah, just taking it all in.
Roll
like, oh
me... Fia, roll me... Oh, wait, you can't roll, sorry.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna be doing that all day today, and then you just until I finally fucking clicks in my head, just like, I can't roll.
Do you have
I
a
will
physical
roll
dice?
for you your charisma.
Thank you.
That's gonna happen. It's gonna keep happening.
Roll me this, dead silence. Oh, right.
Kirsty, do you have physical dice at your parents'?
Oh, no, I don't. All my dice are back at the flat. Oh, that would have been such a good idea. I didn't know that.
Shit.
Oh.
Da-da-da.
I have so many dice
The real
I
question
never use.
is, would you even remember your modifiers?
Also
Actually,
good.
to be honest, oh no, I've got it screenshotted. Haha.
Ah. You planned ahead some steps, but not all of them.
Well, I say I planned ahead. Crash told me to do it last week.
Well, it was your idea. I just told you to do it last week.
Yeah,
I was like, don't wait until like the day right before you're gonna go back to your parents'.
Yeah. It's a good thing you did as well, because I was going to try and get a set onto my iPad, and I never did. I only remembered like 20 minutes before we started. So.
Well,
it's a good thing you did.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
We got him this time.
Yeah. You unfortunately received an 11.
Yeah.
Although this should also have like... guidance. Does guidance not roll for this sort of stuff?
I might have turned it off last week because I remember. I think for one
no,
of I didn't have it. Oh, it's on. Oh.
It just doesn't roll for straight check. That's weird.
Yeah.
So 14.
It's not an ability technically. Well,
it is an ability. It's an ability score check. It just doesn't have proficiencies with it. I don't know. That seems a really weird.
It's a weird loophole
and rather so fucking pedantic determination.
Yeah,
all skill checks are ability checks. A skill check is just a proficiency modifier added onto an ability.
If applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it gets +2 off them, right? So you see if you highlight it's 11 +5, which is charisma +2, which is jack of all trades. So like again, it doesn't make sense that I'm gonna get on a tangent if I get into the how stupid Roll20 is and pedantic it is. Anyways, yeah, 14 charisma. This place is both more and less than what you have been told and imagined. And you sort of hope it stays that way in certain regards. More in the sense of how, at least where you currently are, down to earth it seems. Like you could definitely find places similar. Maybe not the Twilight Skies Eternal. That'd be something. But for the most part, you could find bigger manors and homes in noble region or noble owned lands. You can find such illustrious, or not illustrious, just lustrous, waving grass hills in the Heartlands. So it is that. It feels surprisingly close to home here. But at the same time, you see out in the distance, well, you look up and you see a twilight sky that goes on infinitely. Trees off in the distance that span, like, you know, long, jagged fingers into the sky. That's when you are excited, giddy, I don't know, ecstatic about the potentialities of the stories you've been told growing up being either true, false, in certain lesser or magnificent degrees. It's intriguing. The duality of it, I suppose. 14 from Rose. You try to get a gleam off of this figure who is, again, rather bored looking. Awaiting you guys at the side of the road. Is there any marks, identifications, symbols, or iconography? Nothing particularly stands out to you other than his blades, which all seem to have a particular coloration to them, like sort of gradients. Like one braid. Man, I'm just a racist stereotype, just like my last name. One braid across his blades. They do change in color. There's like a paler one, a darker one, stuff like that. That's the only thing that really pings your radar. But other than that, it's hard to identify him.
Garth has a vague idea, but Rose is not a craftsperson, so I don't think she would know of what that material could be.
Days.
Yeah.
19 on the insight. In terms of threats in your immediate environment, you don't spot any. Neither you nor your guide, if she is willing to reveal such information, nor any of your party mates spot anything lurking, shifting amidst the grasses. Laughs in Tiger Rakshasa, motherfucker hiding in the grass. Just kidding, though, for now. Nothing piques your interest, save for that figure. And it is upon, as the only thing that might possibly be a threat around that's detected, you hone your attention onto them. Their gaze upon all of you is one similar... It's... how to describe it? It's one you've seen degrees of in the past, particularly amongst your tribe. Some colonials have had it. That's, how to describe it? Warden faction that I've described to you in the past of colonials that have quote-unquote gone native.
Yeah.
You know, they use like esoteric magics and druid and ranger craft, but they are not colonials any longer. Particularly amongst their number, at least the ones that you've seen and interacted with. It's a gaze similar to that. It's an appraising gaze, not one that's underestimating nor overestimating. It is sheer neutrality, which is a very hard thing to do in a purely empirical manner.
Yeah,
because there's always some bias that leaks in, but in showing its empirical neutrality it does indicate a wisdom to the person that is doing it, that they've been through thick and thin, high and low, and have plenty of scars to show that they've seen what the world has to offer, too much so for them to over or underestimate. So their neutrality is ingrained and earned, as opposed to a less wise person would be biasful. Yeah. I'm better, they're worse, they're better, I'm worse, stuff like that. It's self-awareness, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Interesting.
So, you guys continue your approach, walking down this winding path that weaves between these grassy hills, and this figure waiting there, closer and closer and closer you approach. And as you guys get within, say, I don't know, 15 feet? Doesn't really matter, right? They do take a step onto the path more closer and begin approaching your guys', I'll call them the point men, point women in this case, of Catalina and Abigail. To which Catalina, being the confident woman she is, does herald for them, which is, pretty typical for fake culture. You don't ever say your own name. That's crazy talk. It's also sort of rude. Or not rude, arrogant. Unless you have no other choice, I guess. Anyways, Lord Vestado, how are you? He just nods, looks at Abigail, and just like tilts his head, or does the head nod motion, like, what's up with her? We all know it. I used to do that with my cousin every time I saw him in high school. It's like, hey, what's up? And then we walk away from each other. Oh, right. You've never met, have you? Well, now you have formally met Abigail. And she gestures at each of you, saying your names in turn. Again, typical Fey culture stuff of you herald your friends, or allies, or compatriots. She says your name in turn. No malicious or cosmic power controlling in such regards. And everyone, this is Lord Vestado. He just nods at you guys.
Rose waves back.
I nod back.
Howdy.
I would say to the two of you that have such colorful backgrounds, Rose and Theo, roll me your background info.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh wait, can't add guidance to background, can you?
Oh, yeah, I told you you're gonna keep reminding me until I finally figure it out.
Oh my lord!
Oh.
I got you a 33.
Hey!
I guess you guys technically wouldn't have guidance because again, this is like not a particularly one specific thing roll. 30. Yeah, you've heard the title. It's not his actual name. Surprise, surprise. Just like Cassivir isn't actually his name. Lord Vestado, is the coronal swordsman. And the blades that he has with him are all used to accomplish the same thing in different manners. He is he's one of the best swordsmen in the Feywilds. Imagine him like, have you ever seen Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind, that old-ass Studio Ghibli movie? One of the best. Mm-hmm. He's like Lord Yupa. He's a traveling, wandering swordsman.
Ah.
And no one can best him. Or if anyone can best him, they've yet to actually duel him. So he's a master duelist as well, obviously. Legends differ as to, like, when he talks and stuff like that. I think for the most part, the legends you hear about him are, like, he doesn't talk. Not that he can't, he just doesn't. But there are other legends that indicate that he actually can't. He literally cannot talk. Which one it is, you don't know. Legends are legends. And that's the catch, right? He has legends about him. That's like saying you got to meet King Arthur. Right? Like, there's a mythos behind this figure. And you're standing before them in person. Which is probably something that's going to happen a lot here in the Feywild. Given that this is the Feywild.
And with a 13, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Nope. You know, jack all.
Lord, it is someone of importance. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember my grandmother used to tell us stories about you. So nice to actually meet you. Loki wants an autograph.
He does like a low bow, like a appreciative gesture, like sort of like a musician taking a bow at the end of a performance. Abigail is looking similar to you. Like, she's like awestruck that you just happened to walk into one of the best swordsmen in the Feywild.
Just casually.
So, how go things, my lord? He tilts his head at that. I don't believe I am your lord. You're one of ours, though. I see. All is quiet. As always. Quiet in what sense, though? As it always is. Okay, well, allow me to then specify. Are there any lesser noises that you've detected? He tilts his head at that, like, confused. I don't know anything that we should be concerned about. We are trekking out. He thinks for a moment. There is that giant. Catalina just immediately looks over at Ruhan.
What's this now?
There is Onibaba's hill giant horseman stomping about. He's looking for someone. Someone's.
Sounds about right.
That would be them then. He looks at you guys. My condolences.
I would just walk over here to Abigail and whisper in her ear. Is it okay to ask where, or am I incurring a debt?
Lord Vistado isn't like... He's not one of those sorts of fairies.
Yes, every fairy isn't that sort of fairy till they are that sort of fairy.
Lord Vistado, as far as I know, has no true names that he holds, nor any particularly incurred debts. At least if the stories are any indication.
He would walk over. Lord Vistado, where would this being be?
The hill giant horseman treks out some leagues from here. Although he is making good ground with that boar of his. You'll know when you're close to him.
Then that
Do you have any food
question.
upon you?
Oh, great, here we go. I mean, perhaps.
The food you have will wither and decay in your packs.
Huh.
The food you have will try to hide from him.
Have an early warning sign.
So does he
Yeah, Race takes out a ration from his backpack and keeps it in his hand.
Smart!
Just as a piece of jerky, when do you start rotting? Tell me your secrets.
Yeah.
That's very interesting information.
He is different. since I've last seen him. And when have you last seen him, Lord Vestado? Years ago. But things seldom change. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Of course. He's thinner now. Thinner. You guys remember seeing the Hill Giant Horseman?
Yeah.
About in technicality a week ago. But for you guys, in terms of like time felt like just 72 hours, less than that ago. He was a big chunky boy. He had like a proper pot belly. He had flab.
Yeah. Aren't hill giants known for their eating?
They are.
So, food rots around him, and he's thinner. What could that possibly
Rotting
do?
food does not dissuade him.
Okay.
Starving wolf be that much dangerous. Race think this be done on purpose. Motivation.
Just because he signed on with Onibaba does not mean she won't make it his own personal hell.
Mm-hmm.
You might try dodging him, although his bore is particularly keen. You might try tricking him, as stories and legends often go. Appeasement will be impossible, especially in his current state. What about games? Games? Our Hoja is not known for such. Could we try besting him in a game and earning our passage? He looks at Catalina. A wise girl. Cat just has a winning smile at him. One of ours. You might. Although in his starved state, I don't know how receptive he'll be to such an idea. He might just want to kill you and eat you. Split you with his boar. I don't suppose we can convince Lord Vestado to come with us? He just shakes his head. Lord Vestado is here because he is one of our buffer allies. Varric.
So, trying to take him with us would weaken the house.
Exactly. Also, this is the best place for him to find his answer after so long. If there is such an answer. Right. Of course. Maybe there isn't. She shrugs. 30 insight Fia. This pings with some stories you know about Lord Vestado. That he's searching. The question changes depending from story to story. Some say he's looking for a particular blade. Some say he's looking for a particular swordsman. Some say he's looking for a worthy combatant. There's a bunch of different stories as to what answer he's seeking, but a lot of stories do have him as this seeker of truth.
So, hearing the thing about his question, none of that would ping with race, but he being a tribal sort, being a curious person.
Yeah.
He would say, he would sort of chuckle to himself. What be a even short life if not a constant questioning of purpose?
It is not purpose I question.
But purpose is often found in a question.
He nods at that. It's like watching two wise men talk with each other over tea.
If it would not be too rude, could I ask what the question is you're after?
He looks at you, into you, reading you. This is a bit more of a pointed look than the neutral scan he did across you guys earlier. It is still neutral, don't get me wrong, but it does have a particular pointedness to it when he's only looking at you, right? Mm-hmm. It's like having your boss look at you, just like, The answer I'm seeking is whether or not fairies and mortals can ever live together in peace. Varric just dead ass just scoffs at that.
Does that sound? I know you've already said like the sort of questions, but is that is that completely different from anything like Fia's heard? In terms of what
you've never heard that like question answer thing in any of the stories. To be fair, it's like it is such a fantastical notion, even for a fairy tale, right? Like, because fairy tales, as you know, colorful as they might be, are often narratively driven, and oftentimes are used as a oh god, there's a term for this, like a story that's meant to teach a lesson.
Fable? Metaphor?
Metaphor? No, there's another one for it.
Fables.
Fable, yeah. But no, there's one. It might be Fable, but I think there might be one more. Regardless, I'm just gonna look it up. As a story that is meant to teach lesson. Huh?
Is it a parable?
Parable, thank you. Also, that's the one I literally just looked up right now. A parable, a short story intended to teach a moral lesson. Yeah, so a lot of fairy tales are for that, right? Like, don't go wandering the woods at night. Why? Because a fairy will come take you, which is semi-true. Or some fucking, like, underswept will infest your corpse or something. I don't know. Like, that's sort of the thing. And that's true in real life, too, right? Why people, like, tell fairy tales to teach children not to do shit. You better be good, or you won't get a present from Santa. Or rather, you better not be bad, or Krampus is gonna kidnap you. And hit you with a riding crop. Right? It's like that. Like, a lot of fairy tales are often meant to teach or discipline. Don't get me wrong, in a setting where fairies do exist, like this one, there are also fairy tales which are records, testimonies. But the thing is, that's not your avenue of knowledge. Like, you were a university field agent